Susie Gerald, and I'm glad to have you join me in my kitchen tonight. We're going to be making a pasta carbonara, and it's the easy pasta carbonara. And so what we're going to do is start with the bacon, and I choose to use nitrate-free bacon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking my small Sentoku knife, which is a 5-inch knife. We also have a large 7-inch knife, and I'm just going to take this and cut it right down the center. So we have long, skinny pieces. I'm going to do this with each of the pieces. Now, why am I using nitrate-free bacon? And I have chosen that to kind of change my lifestyle diet just a little bit. And I'm making it with this bacon instead of regular bacon because the nitrates in it are all those preservatives that you get in your other normal bacon and in your hot dogs and lunch meats and that type of thing. So I have chosen to cut as many preservatives out of my diet as I possibly can. So we are taking this. So now I have 6 strips, and they are all cut into 4 pieces. So now I'm just going to take this with this knife and cut them into little 1/2-inch pieces after this, so that when we cook them up, and let me go ahead and get the stove turned on so it will be ready. So when we cook this, they'll be nice and small and crispy and ready to go into the pasta, which will make the reason this recipe is so absolutely good. And so this is the meat that's going in this. There won't be any other meat that goes into the recipe, so my husband's going to be quite happy about that. And I always say anything with bacon in it is always good. So we're getting this cut up. Now I'm cutting this up on top of 2 cutting boards. One is my large bamboo cutting board, which I love. It stays out on my counter all the time. And then I have covered it up with one of our flexible cutting mats. And the flexible cutting mat is just keeping the bamboo clean until I'm ready to use it. So I can use that, and there's 3 in a set with the bamboo. And I'm going to find a handy scraper real quick. Now this is one item that I think every kitchen needs to have. And you can see, oops, this one is my melted one. If it gets in the dishwasher and falls out and gets down up underneath, or it touches a hot pan, that silicone edge will melt. But I mostly use the other side, so I am good with this. So we're just going to take and put this into our 12-inch family stainless skillet. And turn this on and move it around and get it all spread out with my bamboo spatula here. Now, why in the world do I love this skillet? It's one of my favorites, and my husband likes to use this other one. This is the 10-inch saute pan, and he made some, for breakfast, he made some sausage in it, and it cooks and all that sausage gets stuck down in the bottom of it, and that is called fawn, and that's what sticks down in the bottom. But if you're used to using a stainless piece of cookware, you'll know that the way to clean that pan up is to deglaze it. And so we're going to deglaze this pan so that I can get it cleaned up later. We don't need to use this in the recipe at all. But we're going to deglaze this because I have a little bit of time here. So I'm put a little bit of water in there, turning it on high, and getting it nice and hot to where it starts to boil just a little bit. And then I'll take my bamboo spoon and I'll push it around and clean it right up, and it'll be cleaned up in no time. And so then I can throw it in the dishwasher. Our stainless can go in the dishwasher, our stainless cookware. Our nonstick cannot go in the dishwasher. So you want to make sure that you follow that rule. Okay, while both of those are starting to cook, we're going to take one of my favorite tools. This is the manual food processor, and you can see the blades right there, and the blades are on different levels. So we put them right down in here, and before it starts to go, I'm going to show you what the top of it does. So once you start to spin it, I believe you can probably see how easy that is spinning around. This is not to replace the other food chopper because it is so awesome when you're doing nuts and things. But this one is my favorite for doing onions. So let me just show you what happens when I do this onion. So I'm just going to clean this onion up and hope it's not one that makes me cry, because we all know that onions can do that. So I try to do this as quickly as I can. And I have found the secret to not frying, but it's not going to work right this second. And I'll tell you that in just a minute. Okay, the secret to not frying with your onion is take it in and cut it into a few pieces. Drop it down in some ice water, and you will not cry, because all that milky juice inside of the onion is what makes you cry. So we're just going to drop this right down in here. Make sure that blade is standing up nice and tall. Put this over the top, just like this, so you see the onion in there. And we're just going to chop it. Now, my onion is completely chopped, and you can chop it more or less to make it the size that you want to chop. So what else do I do with this? This item comes in the new consultant kit, which is really a new thing. The food chopper used to come in there, but this is so much more versatile than the food chopper. And so what you can do, and I'm going to keep that lid on it for now because it is a strong onion. So there it is. It's just going to wait on me. Now let's get this going. So back to the manual food processor. You can actually make salsa in just a couple of minutes. I recommend that if you use the little cherry tomatoes to make your salsa, you may want to cut them in half first, because they want to tend to run around and act like little balls in there in the ball house. So you want to make sure and do that. All right, so we've got this cooking, and the bacon is frying up. Okay, and I'm going to get a different spatula to clean up this other skillet, and it is starting to boil, so I'm just going to take it and rub it down here with this spatula, with this other, and these are bamboo. The difference in bamboo and wood is the bamboo will not hold the bacteria. So if you've got wooden spoons in your kitchen, make sure that they're not wood, but that they are bamboo. Okay, so this is coming right up. I almost have too much water in here, and it's wanting to slosh out. So we'll have this all clean and ready for the dishwasher in just a few minutes. Now with our stainless cookware, honestly it is my favorite. This cookware is a very heavy gauge piece of stainless. It's actually a 3-ply. If you are looking for good cookware, I'll put this out there up against anything else. Our ratings are some of the highest in the industry. So we just about have this cleaned up. But if you were going to make a roux or a gravy or anything, this would be the way to do that, because you could pour in your sauces, you could pour in your white wine, anything. You could even pour in some milk products and that type thing, and pour those in, and it will pull all that foam up and get into your sauce and make your sauce oh so tasty. And I have quite a few recipes that I like to do that with. And you can't do that in nonstick. You can only do it in the stainless. Okay, so that is looking to me like it is just about clean. So I'm just going to scoot it back here to the back, turn it off, and let it sit. Now, how long did that take to clean up that stone? But it wasn't a stone. All right, we're also getting the same thing here with this bacon. It's making the fawn. It's F-O-N-D, but you say it like a deer, like a fawn. So that is down in the bottom of this skillet. And I first didn't know how to use stainless, but I quickly learned, and it has become a great piece to use in my kitchen. So we're still cooking it up. We still have some things, and what I like about it, I don't know if you can see, but it's not going to rock at all. It is a heavy, heavy gauge with titanium in the bottom of it. And it's a 3-ply, and the interior is actually a stainless. It's a smooth stainless on the inside, and so things do not stick readily in there. So there we go. So we've got that. We also have a Y shape. The handle does not get hot on top of the stove, which is very important. Can you put our cookware in the oven? Yes. I could put this stainless in the oven up to 500 degrees, and I can put my nonstick in the oven up to 400 degrees. And so if you have a recipe you want to finish off in the oven, that makes it really easy to do that. Okay, so this is looking like it's about ready. Now, the recipe does call for turkey bacon. Turkey bacon, I wouldn't have all this grease that I'm going to have right here, right now. But that's okay, because I like this bacon. And I will drain it, and we'll get all of that grease out of here. So this is awesome. This is great. So we've got that. Now let me check my recipe and see what we're going to do next. I believe we're going to add the onion and the garlic. So let's see, cooked bacon, add onion and garlic, and the red pepper flakes. Okay, so I do have my red pepper flakes all measured out, and I'll show you that spoon here in just a second. So I'm going to take all of this bacon out for just a second. And I love these plates. These are part of our Simple Additions line. It's the appetizer plates. And there's 12 in a set, and they sit on my counter all the time. I use them for things like this, but I love it when we do have company in or when the boys are home for the holidays and we have desserts and extra things around. They don't think twice. They just know to reach for those plates. Okay, so I'm going to set this right here, move this off for just a minute, and find something to drain this in. And I can drain in. I did not think about this. So I'm going to take my little Tupperware measuring cup and pour this right in here. Alrighty then. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So now I'm going to turn this heat down just a little bit because it's feeling like it's just a little bit hot. So we're going to take the onion and get ready with my spatula because it's going to go quickly. Put all of this onion into the skillet. And what's going to happen, I should have shown you the pond. The bottom of the skillet right now is pretty dark. All of that bacon drippings have cooked onto there. But what's going to happen is this is going to start coming up and getting onto the onion as the onion cooks. The onion's going to start pulling out. So that's just the beginning process on that. So here it is. Ooh, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. All right, so let that onion cook for just a minute. And then we're going to take our garlic press. I don't know if you have a garlic press or not, but the garlic press is very essential. When I started Pampered Chef 18, almost 19 years ago, I didn't use fresh garlic. I probably was like you, and if I used garlic, it was either garlic powder or it was even that garlic in the jar. The garlic in the jar actually has formaldehyde in it, so that's another one of those preservatives that you want to get rid of. And when it calls for garlic, it tells you, and I'm going to just spritz it onto here, onto this handy scraper, because you don't want to put the garlic in until right before you're going to add your stock. You want it to cook just for about 30 seconds or so, because if you do it before then, it could burn, and we don't want it to burn. So you can see I am taking this garlic piece, and the skin is still on it, and putting it right into the hopper, closing it up, and what happens is I'll squeeze it, it comes out, I scrape it off, and you open it up, and here is the skin. So the skin comes right off, and you can throw that away. So it did not go in there at all. So I'm going to do 2 more little pieces. It called for 4 garlic cloves. This is a garlic bulb. If you put 4 of these in, you will go out to dinner. You will not eat this. So let's keep it simple. Keep this going. All right, so we have nice crushed garlic right here, ready to go in. And this onion is looking good. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so here is this. Just about have that onion starting to get transparent. So you want it to get a little bit transparent. And then we're going to add this and the red pepper flakes. Now our measuring spoons, just to show you these are great. The measuring spoons, there's 2 in a set. These are my favorite set, and they look like this. They do pop open to clean, so you want to make sure you do that because little green men do grow up under here, and so you want to keep it clean. But you can tell that because it is clear on the back side. But it goes from 1 tablespoon, and if you slide it up, it will go to 2 teaspoons, 1½ teaspoons, and it will go all the way down to a teaspoon. So you've got all those measurements in between. And that one is the tablespoon, and the one I'm using right here is the 1 teaspoon, and it goes all the way down to 1/8 of a teaspoon. So we're going to put 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes in here in just a second. I'm going to add this garlic first. It's ready for the garlic, and then I'll be ready with my chicken stock here in just a second. So another good tip is make sure you have everything out ready to go when you do something like this, because this is a quick, easy dinner. But it's not going to be quick if you're running all over the kitchen looking for everything all at the same time. So we're going to add now the red pepper flakes, and they really do make this recipe come together great. Okay, so we've got all that in the skillet. And the skillet inside, you can see all that dark stuff in there. That's going to be in our food here in just a minute. And y'all have to realize, when I started this business, I didn't even know how to cook. My mother-in-law would come down the street and help me make gravy, because I had no idea. I was busy doing other things. Cooking was not my thing. But then once you get married, all of a sudden you have to cook. Okay, so I'm going to take 32 ounces of low-sodium chicken broth. Ooh, there it goes. Here it comes. Here it comes. It's all coming up really fast. All the black in the bottom of the pan is coming up. This is called deglazing. So we are deglazing this pan right now. And it's making a beautiful gravy. Oh, I wish you could see it. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. So we've got all this chicken stock in here. Yes, that's great. Now, this is the type of thing that I do at a cooking show. And I would have people in the kitchen helping me throw together a recipe and let you try out the tools and see how fun they are and see how easy they are to use. So we've got all of that in there. Now, we're going to take, in just a second, now I'm also trying to go gluten-free. I'm not doing it completely, but we're going to take this spaghetti rice pasta. And I'm going to take this whole box and put this into the recipe. So I do want to read the recipe and make sure that I've got this just right. So hang on 1 second. Let me make sure I'm together on this. Okay, add pasta stock, evaporated milk. So I need to put the evaporated milk in real quick. Okay, this is great. This is probably one of everybody's favorite tools. This is our can opener. You can see it's just very simple. I'm going to get real close so you can see it. I'm hoping the light will catch it just right. But do you see how that's turning right inside of there? That's how it grabs the can. So I'm going, excuse me, shake well. The can said shake it. So I'm going to put this right up on the can and just start turning. And it picks the can up. Okay. If you can pick it up, you know you did good. And then to take it off the can, you actually turn it back 1 time, and it will release from the can. Now, if this can is sealed, and I'm always afraid when I do this, but I want to be sure because you never know what's happening with the can. If this can is sealed, it will not open. So as long as it was sealed, we know that it's okay. So we know this is a fresh can because I have gone all the way around the outside edge of it. Now I'm just going to use the little mouthpiece on the side and lift it right up. Isn't that nice? So you have a can that you can actually touch the top edge because you didn't cut the can, you cut the outside edge. So we're going to pour this in, 12 ounces, and this is evaporated milk. All right, so that is in there now. And we're going to turn it up just a little bit more. And now we're going to add the pasta. I'm just going to break it up, break it in half so it'll make it a little bit easier to eat. And this is rice pasta, so it does, you have to be careful how you cook this so that it is not mushy. And the brand definitely makes a difference. Okay, so you may have to try out. We do have a new gluten-free cookbook, and there's some great recipes on there. And there's everything from desserts to appetizers in that cookbook. Okay, so we've got this. And let me just read the recipe real quick and make sure I've got it exactly right. So we're going to add that. Simmer. Cover. Okay, let me get my lid. So we've got clear lids to go with this, and we're just going to put that over the top and simmer. Hang on one sec. Okay, simmer for 12 to 14 minutes until pasta is firm, stirring it occasionally. Okay, so we've got that going on, and then we'll be putting the bacon back in. But in the meantime, we're going to take the Parmesan cheese and get that grated. So I'm going to pull out another one of my little bowls, my little plates, and take my Parmesan cheese. Now, at my shows, I always ask people, how many of you have a can of Parmesan cheese, that green can, in your refrigerator right now? And usually about half the room raises their hand, and I'll tell them to go home and throw it away because it's not really cheese. Cheese melts, and I don't believe that melts. You can put it on top of something, slide it in the oven, and when you pull it out, it just turned brown, but it did not melt. So it's not anything I want to give my family. So, and that's one of those tips that I have learned being a consultant over the last 18 years. Now, this is one of my favorite. This is the microplane grater, and it's just a small one. It's on a handle. It's not like one of those long ones that I've had in the past that was hard to handle. This one has a handle, so it's not hard to handle. Whoops, and we are boiling up. Whoops. We do have a new thing called a boil over, but I needed to put the lid on this. I probably should have done it, but it's not in here. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to turn it back, turn it down. It's going to continue to cook. All right, let me set the timer for about 10 more minutes. Okay, and now we're just getting this. Now, what else can you grate with this zester? You can actually zest. You can do different types of cheeses. You can grate nuts and that type of thing. Chocolate, all kinds of things that you want, and it's going to make it extremely small. This cheese actually smells good compared to what's in the green can. So you want some cheese. This will last. You won't use all of it in one sitting. This cheese, I buy this cheese over by the cream cheese in the grocery store. You can get it for about double the price in a triangle at any grocery store over in the deli section. But it's a lot more expensive, and this is great. Professional chefs would probably say, go get the stuff over at the other place, but I want you to enjoy it and not overspend. So you can see that I did get this grated just right. So it's ready to go. Now the next thing that we're going to need to add, let me get this back over here. And turn this down just a little bit. Oops, here it comes. I really should go get my boil over, so hang tight. I think I know exactly where it is. Be right back. Okay, this is a boil over. You see these little pieces on the top? That's where it's going to make it work beautifully. Now, I'm just going to lay this on the top of my skillet. Put this skillet back over here. And let me show you what it's going to do. In just a minute, you're going to see those little white pieces boil up. But it's not going to come out and get all over the stovetop because that's going to contain it and keep it all in there, which is really kind of neat. I haven't used it on this big skillet yet, so I'm excited. But this is one of our new pieces that we have for the spring. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, one of the last things we're going to do is take our cream cheese and just cut it right down the center. We only need 4 ounces. We have that right here. So we'll have this that we'll stir in here at the end in just a few minutes. Now let me make sure I've got everything else. The last thing that will go in are frozen peas. And we will have those to go in here in just a second also. Okay, awesome job. I know you cannot see what's going on, but it is starting to bubble up. It's not going anywhere. I have turned the skillet up and it is cooking. This is great. About 6 more minutes and it's going to be ready to go. Okay. So what am I doing at shows right now? I have a show on Thursday night, and it is a show with some young girls, and they're wanting to learn how to cook quick, easy, fast meals. So we have some new Mexican recipes that we're doing. We have some new comfort food recipes, and I'm actually going to be using this piece for their recipe that night. This is the deep covered baker. This is one of my favorite pieces that we have. It is stoneware on the inside. It is glazed on the outside, but it's stoneware on the bottom also. If it was glazed on the bottom, it would be just like any other piece of cookware that you have, Pyrex dish or anything. So in that stone, you can cook a whole chicken in 30 minutes. Excuse me, 1 second. But you can cook a whole chicken in 30 minutes. You can cook 2 pounds of pork tenderloin in about 15 minutes, and it tastes like it came off the grill. It's very, very good. Lots of different recipes, from chocolate lava cakes to any kind of cake mix that you want to add, that you want to put in there. You can do that. But you can cook fresh recipes like our new summer spaghetti that we have. It's got broccoli and tomatoes and lemon zest and everything in it, and it's very good also. So the possibilities are endless with that stone. That is coming up on special. Every now and then it'll come up on special for hostesses, and they can get it for 60% off, which makes it $34. So this is cooking. Oh, it's very hot. Don't lift the lid on the side here because it will burn you. But back to the baker. I love that because my hostesses are using it. They're telling me they're using it 2 and 3 times a week. I even had one hostess say, my husband told me I needed to get 2 because they use it, and she's constantly having to wash it and get it going. So she ended up with 2 of those. But when you do get that, I will send you a 32-page PDF file that has all these different recipes in it, so you'll know how to make the chicken in there in 30 minutes in the microwave. It also goes in the regular oven. So if you want to do a slow bake in the oven for about 3 hours on a roast or something, you can do that and make some barbecue, whatever you want to do. The possibilities are endless with that deep covered baker. And so there's also a smaller baker that's half that size, and you can take any of those recipes and cut them in half and cook them in the other one. So love my baker. We also have a brownie pan that has a PDF file also that I can send to you with all different types of recipes you can do in that. So it's not just for brownies, but you can do pineapple upside down cakes. You can do mini quiches. You can do all the different recipes you're imagining. And then probably our favorite new stone that we have right now is this one, and it is our egg cooker. You can cook eggs in the microwave in this stone. It's not a dog bowl, but you can cook this in the microwave in about a minute. I like my eggs done for 1 minute and 15 seconds in my microwave. Every microwave's different, so you want to be able to check that and see. But I do them in this with just a little pat of butter in the bottom, and it cooks up a fried egg that is just perfect. You can add water, and you can do poached eggs. You can scramble them in a bowl and then pour them in here and cook them, and you've got your scrambled eggs. So this is the new way to have an Egg McMuffin cheaper and at home. So I love that. So that's one stone that everybody is screaming for right now that just came out. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to lift this up so I can stir it and make sure it's doing okay. All right, so we're just pulling it back. Going to stir it a little bit. Ooh, I wish you could see this. It's cooking up so good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure nothing was sticking on the bottom, so I'm going to put it back over here turn it up just a little bit so it can continue to cook. So we'll be adding this in just a second. Okay, so if somebody was here and asking me a question, what would be one of my favorite products that I have? Well, I have my tool turnabout here, and I want to show you these new shears. These are our little petite mini shears, and oh my goodness, if any of you, and I tell them at my shows, I ask how many are sewers, you know how fun and how important it is to have something to get in small when you're sewing and needing to clip something really good. Think about your chicken. When you're cooking chicken, this is an awesome thing because you can pull up those little tendons and get in there and clip it out really, really quick. I love these shears. They help me to trim up my meats. They open bags. They do all kinds of things. They open and close. They sharpen themselves. They close at the bottom, so they're closed. Then you have a little case that you can put over the top of it right there. And we do have the larger size also, which I love these, and these are for your bigger things that you're wanting to do. These will cut metal, they'll cut craft wire, they'll cut anything that you could possibly want in your kitchen. And this is our newest ice cream scoop. Many people are coming to this one and they're loving this one even more than the one we had that had the filling inside of it before, because it's got these little points. I don't know if you can see the little points on it and the way it is. So you can turn it left-handed or right-handed and scoop it that way, or straight down across the top. So that has been a big hit. And with the 4th of July and all the summer coming up and all the ice cream that you're going to be cooking and making in your homemade ice cream maker, it's going to be great. Everybody knows that knows me that this is probably one of my favorite scrapers that we have. It's flexible. All these scrapers that I'm using, the white ones and the cranberry ones, these are made of silicone, so they're heat saved up to 650 degrees. So you can stir in your nonstick skillets with these. You won't scratch it up. You can throw them in the dishwasher. But this one, as large as it is, I can take it and clean out the whole side of the bowl. There's nothing left to lick. Let me see if I have my bowl up here. I do. Okay, so if we had used this is our large batter bowl. If we had used this and scraped it out all the way around and there was nothing left in there to lick, people say, but that's the best part. I want to be able to have something to lick. Now you set the bowl then in the corner and you turn this up like this, and it's got a little hook under there, and it will stand right up there on the side of the bowl. And you can save it for later for whoever is going to cook that. Have that. Okay, so this is beeping like it's about ready to go, and I do believe that it is. So I'm going to pull this up. Yes, I'm going to turn it back down. Oh, it's awesome. It's just awesome. Okay. Yay! So if you need a quick dinner, this is going to be a really good recipe that you can throw together in no time. The biggest thing is making sure that you have everything that you need to do it, and then you can throw it together really, really fast. Okay, so now the recipe is going to tell me to add this cream cheese. So we're just going to put this down in here. This is going to really help to thicken it up and make it nice and rich. And I cook, when you're cooking, you need to cook with full fat cream cheese. You don't ever want to cook with those cheap ones because they can make things very, very runny. So anytime you're going to heat something up, make sure that you use the full fat in there. And I use full fat butter and everything. So when I'm doing that, I use that all the time. Okay, so we have this here. Oh, it looks wonderful. Now, let me check my recipe real quick and make sure I'm in line with everything. I think we just add the peas. Parmesan cheese. We're going to remove it from the skillet, from the stove. Cream cheese, peas, and Parmesan. So I have my frozen peas that I have thawed out. And if you didn't know, I lay them on the granite countertop, and the granite countertop will actually thaw them out for me. So if you have granite in your kitchen, All you have to do, if you've got some meat that you need to thaw out, some chicken or some meat that you're going to put into a recipe, all you do with that is just set it out on the counter, and that counter will thaw up your meat for you. So we have added our peas. We're going to add the Parmesan cheese. Oh, yum. This looks awesome. So we're going to melt this in here. Turn that stove off back there. Okay. Get this in here. Now I'm going to add the bacon in. I'll just sprinkle this bacon right into it. And it looks like dinner is ready. So I'll just call Philip in. I don't think he's anywhere he can hear me. But dinner is served. And here it is. So that can focus. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And we'll have another edition. This is episode 1.